Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Standing Out, a show about sales, marketing, and leadership. I'm your host, Trey Griggs, founder and chief encouragement officer at Beta Consulting Group. When you get a chance, check us out at betaconsultinggroup.com. We're all about transforming brands and customers into fans. So check out what we're doing there. We'd love to talk to you about what you're doing on your marketing. Also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Reads Across America Radio. If you're listening on Reads Across America, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Every Tuesday night, we're on their trucking lineup. So come back and hear a new episode of Standing Out every Tuesday on Reads Across America Radio. Also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, SPI Logistics, for making this possible. Listen, if you're a freight broker and just tired of having your MC in the back office and all that, those headaches that you have, you just want to stay in your sweet spot of working with customers and booking freight, make sure you check them out at success.spi3pl.com. Again, that's success.spi3pl.com. They've got the technology, the systems, the back office support, everything that you need to succeed. And make sure you let them know that you heard about it right here on Standing Out. Also, don't forget the Broker Carrier Summit's coming up this fall. We just had the last one. We're going to have the next one in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I believe it might be in Fort Worth. Down there in Texas. And so it's going to be in October, looking at the 28th through the 30th. It's not too early to sign up for that. So go to brokercarriersummit.com and register for the event. If you know an influencer, you can get a coupon code. I'm sure they'll give you one. Make sure you register for that. The coupon code for Beta is 10% off. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beta_Podcast_Network, the Beta Podcast Network, for all of our content, including every episode of Standing Out, Word on the Street, The Edge, and all the fun stuff that our team likes to put out there. Again, just go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you never miss out. All right, got a great guest today. Can't wait to bring him on the show and talk about his career. He's down in Southern California. Please welcome to the show the president and CFO of Motivational Fulfillment and Logistics Services, Tony Altman. This is a good song, my friend. Nice walk-up song.
Appreciate it.
I feel like we need to let this play out just a little bit. This is like total Southern California vibes right here. Oh.
You want a little chili pepper?
I know. How are you doing, Tony? Nice
Good,
to have
thanks.
you on the
How are
show.
you
Doing well. I just want to listen to that Red Hot Chili Pepper song. That brings me back to my childhood like no other. Are you a child of the 90s like I am? Did you grow up in the 90s?
I'm shamefully an 80s hairband guy and, rocked out to that every day.
Did you have 80s hair?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Were you in an 80s rock band?
I was not. But I had a little, business on the side, party in the back, probably more going on.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's not, the 80s rock bands, the ballads, the rock ballads, some incredible bands. But the 90s to me is childhood. I just remember the alternative rock, the hip hop, the country. Like, couldn't go wrong with 90s music, in my opinion. Isn't it amazing how we get connected to the genre that we listened to growing up?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And now our genres are the oldies on the oldie stations, which is pretty crazy. Hard to believe. I didn't think that we'd get there that fast, but yeah, here we are. All right, Tony, give a little introduction to yourself. Who the heck are you?
So my name is Tony Altman. I'm the president and CEO of Motivational Fulfillment and Logistics Services. I've been with Motivational for about 15 years now, and it's a family business, 46-year-old 3PL. Based in Southern California, but we've got locations about 2.6 million square feet in SoCal and 350,000 square feet in the Memphis area.
Man, so you got a couple locations and been going for a long time. Family business. Were there any trepidations of getting into family business? We talked a little bit about this before. Was that good? Was it crazy? Was it wild? Good stories to tell? Thanksgiving still goes well?
It goes great. I was very proud of what my sister also worked in the family business. My dad started the company. I was very proud of what they had built, but I wanted to do something on my own. So when I graduated college, went to law school, started my own civil litigation firm, did that for about 15 years, was doing that plus, business work for Motivational, burning the candle at both ends, super stressful. At 36 years old, I had a pulmonary embolism, decided it was time to change my lifestyle a little bit. And so I had to cut one of the two things out of my life. It was either end my law career or end my work with Motivational. And I decided that, I want to go work with my family and see my dad and my sister every day and spend more time with them. And it was a little bit nerve wracking when I started. It was either going to be the best decision I made or the worst. but it turned out to be the best. And
it's amazing how an event like that can kind of put things in perspective a little bit differently. And that's pretty young to have an event like that happen. I'm sure that was kind of stood you up straight and said, wait, what are we doing here? What's happening here? So that's pretty wild. Well, before we get into any more about that, we're so happy to have you on the show today. We want to give you a little piece of swag to say thank you. Are you a coffee drinker or a water bottle kind of guy? Which one would you prefer?
A water bottle, please. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life.
What? You know what? I have never had a cup of coffee in my life either. And I never run into anybody else that has the same story. That's amazing.
I always say I don't want it to stunt my growth. And I did turn out to be 6'7", so it seems to have worked.
You're 6'7"? Okay, well then we need to change. I guess I need to put myself lower on that because I'm only 5'8". So if we were actually,
I am a Diet Coke addict, so I call it the liquid crack.
Me too. I like Diet Coke. I like Diet Coke with grenadine and a few cherries, a little Roy Rogers. That's my drink.
Yeah, I drink so much that I put a soda fountain in my home.
That's awesome to hear. Well, I don't run into too many people who have never had a cup of coffee like myself. My dad used to make me make his coffee in the mornings, and he had the Folgers Instant.
Right.
You just whatever, stir it up and put it in the microwave. Right. And it just never seemed appealing to me. I never really got into it. I don't like bitter tasting things, and I'm kind of a sweet tooth kind of a guy, and so never did it. And by the time I could have it or could afford it, I was like 25. It's like, who cares at this point? Like I've made it this long, and clearly I have enough energy. I don't think anybody wants to see me on coffee. So it's probably a good thing that we don't have that. So water bottle coming your way. We'll send it over. It's a great water bottle, and we hope that you enjoy that. All right. Some fun facts about you I didn't know. Well, you did mention that your dad was a college baseball player. You have some athletic veins in the family. You played ice hockey. You played since you were 6, and you still play 2 to 3 times a week. Is that right?
I do. So we're a hockey family. I play 3 times a week. My son played at Arizona State, and my younger son was a goalie kind of growing up, and, kind of on and off. He didn't play as seriously as my older son, but we're a hockey family for sure.
Wow, that's cool. I'm just now getting into the St. Louis Blues. I grew up in Kansas City, no hockey team, but I've been in St. Louis for long enough now that I should be a fan. And it's such a fun sport. So fast. It's so fast. A lot of people complain about baseball, kind of a slow sport. Sometimes people feel the way about football a little bit. Man, you cannot say that about hockey. It is a really fast sport.
Yeah, once you've been in person and you've watched a game, it's tough to watch other sports. My son used to play both baseball and hockey, and we'd be at hockey in the morning, and then we go watch baseball right after that. And it was a tough transition.
I'm sure it was. But so you played, you're 6'7", you say. Like, it's amazing to me how big some of the hockey players are that just float around the ice. Like, they're so skilled, so coordinated. You don't see that in a lot of other sports where guys with that kind of height have that kind of just skill and finesse and agility. It's pretty impressive.
It's just a great way for me to kind of relieve stress and have a good time and stay in shape a little bit. Certainly not in great shape. I like to say the shape that I'm in is round, but at least it gives me a little bit of exercise and keeps my cardio up a little bit.
Yeah, and skating is not easy. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. It's very athletic. I do have a question to ask you. I've wanted to ask a hockey person about this for a long time on the show, and here we are. So how in hockey games, a lot of times there are fights that break out, right? Uh-huh. And I've noticed in hockey that when 2 guys really want to go at it, they really just let them go for a little bit. Right. The referees will come by. Are they referees, officials? What are they called in hockey?
Well, there's linesmen and referees. The referees call penalties. The linesmen call offsides and icing.
Yep, the zebra guys. They kind of, come around them, but they don't really get in the way until the fight's kind of over. Maybe somebody goes to the ground or they've had enough, whatever it is. I always appreciated that. Here's what I wish that people would do. Like, I'm a baseball guy. You know how somebody charges the mound, both teams come out? Right. I wish just once they just let them go for a while, see what happens. Just, you really want this smoke?
The reason they let them go for a while is, like you said, they got big guys in hockey these days. And, the linesmen don't want to step in the middle of a fight between 2 6'2", 250-pound guys. So they let them go until they get to the point where they tire out a little bit, and then they can step in between and kind of safely separate them. But you don't want to step in while those guys are throwing haymakers and catch a wild punch. So they let them go.
Exactly.
And, at the end of the day, it's probably not so bad for the game either, for the fans to see a little bit of a scuffle.
Well,
so I don't think the NHL hates it either.
No, it's very exciting as a fan. I'm always hoping at least one good fight will break out during a game. It's just for fun. But here's my thought. If you're a hitter in baseball or a pitcher in baseball, it would either make you think twice about charging the mound if you get the snot beat out of you, or you think twice about hitting a player if you got the snot beat out of you as a pitcher. So I feel like it would kind of level things out. And I just think it'd be fun to watch him go. Just let him go for a while and then separate them. This whole team coming out. All right. That's just that's my little pet peeve. I wish baseball fights were more like hockey. That's my thing. So, all right. Anyways, let's talk about your career. Let's talk about kind of, what's going on, your journey, from law into logistics. Was it as, I don't want to say simple, but was it that moment where you had the health condition that just made it clear? Had you been thinking about it for a while? I mean, burning the candle both ends. It's hard.
Yeah, I had been thinking about it. I mean, I've been around the business my whole life. Motivational was founded in 1977. I was born in 1971. So at the age of 6 or 7, I was running around the warehouse with my hockey stick and a tennis ball, shooting my tennis ball off the pallet.
Yeah, you were.
Probably when the days of OSHA were a little bit looser and you could, let kids run around the warehouse. But I've been around the business my whole life. So I kind of grew up in it. I knew some of the people that were there when I was 6 or 7 still work here today. So, I've been around it. I've worked the same thing that I do with my kids now. My sister did with her kids. My dad did with us, which is during summers, we worked in the warehouse. We worked in the office, we learned the business. We worked in every different position. So we've all unloaded containers and labeled cartons and, processed orders. We've all done pretty much every position in the company. So, I knew the business throughout, even though I wasn't working in it. And then as a lawyer, I was reviewing all the contracts. I was helping with vendor agreements. I was, working the trade shows to help out. I was still doing a lot within the business. And like I said, it was just a lot. My practice was growing. It was just time to make a decision. And there were external factors too, like my kids and the school district they were in and wanting to get them to a better school district and other things. It just made sense. And like I said, the overriding factor is, I could stay in the law and continue, being in a super high stressful situation, or I could go to work every day and see my dad and my sister and a lot of the people that I grew up with and, help customers to develop their businesses. And that just seemed like a much better path for me.
What kind of law were you practicing before that? Were you litigating? Were you
civil litigation? Yeah.
Yeah. So you were in court, you were researching, you were like what I call the real law. I've got a friend who's a patent lawyer, and it sounds like it's pretty easy. Patent law.
Look, there were certain aspects of the law I loved. I loved being in court. I loved the research and writing, but there were parts of it that were rough. I was dealing with people that were willing to do things that weren't super ethical. And I was the one acting ethically, but I couldn't sleep at night, having to deal with these people on a daily basis. So it was just causing me a ton of stress.
That's an interesting thought. I'd never thought about that, about how it kind of impues their lack of ethical values to you, really, because you're having to be a part of this whole thing. Yeah.
It was just stressing me out. And it got to the point where, again, I was running a successful practice. I was, we were living comfortably and happily, but I had the fork in the road and decided to go the way of the business instead of the law.
Sounds like you made a good choice because you probably got a little time back and maybe a little more sanity and sleep better at night. It sounds like it might have been a good.
Like I said, the time that I get to spend with my dad and my sister, I can never, that's just invaluable. I got my kids out to a better area and a better school district. I've enjoyed helping to build Motivational, the business. It's grown tremendously, in the 14, 15 years since I've been here. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I enjoy our customers. So it really was a great choice.
You might be one of the few people that came into transportation logistics full time and your life was less stressful. Most people tend to go the other way because it's a pretty stressful industry. But compared to what you were doing with law, it's probably a walk in the park at this point for you, which is exciting. Talk about you did every job in the business. You saw your dad do the job. What are some lessons you learned about leadership that have really helped you as you took over the company and are now leading it in a successful venture now?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things. First of all, my dad told us to, lead by example. Get out there and do it. Show everybody that you're willing to do it. Never ask anybody to do anything that you're not willing to do, yourself. And that's part of it. I've run the warehouse for months at a time on an overnight shift from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. I'm a certified forklift driver. I've really worked in every area of the warehouse. And I think that, my coworkers appreciate the fact that I'm out there with them. And so, leading by example is important. Second, I've heard a lot of leaders talk about the people that work for them, which kind of makes me cringe.
Yes.
I don't have people that work for me. I have people
Yeah.
that I work with. I have coworkers,
Yeah.
you know, and I value those relationships, and I appreciate working with them to help, you know, build a business and service our customers. And so, you know, treating everybody with respect and treating everybody, you know, on equal footing is really important. And then third, he taught us to just be a yes company. Is, you know, service your customer. If your customer needs something, figure out how to deliver for them. Say yes, and then figure out how to deliver. But if you say yes, you better deliver. You know, for the first 45 years of our business, we never had a commercial division or a salesperson. It was just my dad, my sister, and myself, and we were getting our sales organically through referral, through current and former customers, through executives that, you know, left one of our companies that were with us and went to a new company and then brought that company to us. We were getting referrals directly from the retailers. And so we got that because of our service level. And so he always taught us that, look, if you're going to offer a service level, you better know that you can provide it and do a good job at it.
Yeah, you know, your first point, to go back to that of you know, leading by example and not asking anyone to do something that you wouldn't do yourself, sounds like something straight out of the, you know, Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary, where he talked about that he was never going to ask his teammates to do something that he wasn't willing to do himself. And I think people really do respect that when they don't, you know, you're not just commanding them to do stuff, but you're doing it. I remember when I was a basketball coach, and I was young at this time, so I don't know if I could do this now, but I probably should try it. But when I was a young basketball coach, like 23, anytime our guys had to run, I ran with them.
Yeah.
And one, it kept me in shape, but the side benefit that I didn't even realize at the time, because my motive was just to stay in shape, but the side benefit was that I gained their respect because I wasn't just, you know, yelling at them to run. It's like if they made a mistake or if we did something that caused us to run, I had to do it as well. Absolutely. And one of those examples was we made them run if they cussed. And this was high school basketball. Right. So if they said a cuss word, we all got on the line and ran, myself included. And so they started to feel bad about making me run, which kind of worked in our favor. But you know, the idea is the same, that, man, if you're willing to get out there and drive a forklift, you know, work the overnight shift, do whatever needs to be done, and they know that you're not just, you know, pointing fingers and telling people what to do all the time, you get a different level of respect from the team that you work with and not for. And I think that's a really great point.
And then when it comes to delivering for the customer, and that requires some extra hours or some weekends or some nights, and, you know, they know that you're willing to get out there and do it with them, then they're more likely to say, okay, I can do that, instead of saying, you know, gee, sorry, I can't make it. Or it motivates the team to work together to deliver, you know, the best product possible for the customer.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And now forklift, you're a certified forklift operator. Do you guys have any forklift competitions? Is there like some, like, you know, like Hunger Games of forklifts or something, where you go out there and you see who can stack things the fastest, or I don't know, is there anything like that?
No, we're not racing through the warehouse with forklifts or doing any kind of competition like that. You know, we do have incentives for working safely, for, you know, lack of injuries, for performance, things like that. But competition, you know, the faster you do things, the more injuries you have, the more damages you have, things like that. So we want everybody to work.
Yeah, this is why I'm not in your position, because I think about stupid stuff like this. Like, this could be really fun. The motivational games, we're doing it this Saturday. Bring a helmet. Maybe do it offsite at someone else's warehouse.
Yeah, there you go.
Not at your own warehouse. Don't destroy anything. Oh, that's so funny. I love to hear that. But what are some of the, you know, when you think about having a successful business, what are some of the challenges that you've, you know, had to face that maybe you weren't ready for? What are some things that come to mind, and you know, how did you overcome some of those?
Well, I mean, obviously COVID was something that nobody ever anticipated, and the impact of everything that went along with that. I mean, that was like the perfect storm. I mean, there were pallet shortages, there were space shortages, there were, you know, disruptions in supply chain. There were
so many unknowns.
I mean, everything you can imagine just hit all at once, and trying to right size that and keep your business running. You know, as the governor of California was on TV announcing that he was, you know, doing a mandatory shutdown and, you know, a stay-at-home order, my phone was ringing 3 or 4 customers saying, what are you going to do? Are you staying open? How are you going to service our business? And I'm like, right, I haven't even heard what he said yet. He hasn't finished speaking yet. I don't know. So being able to kind of pivot and figure that out and work through that situation. And, you know, because we service some customers that ship essential products, we were able to stay open throughout COVID and, you know, implement some safety protocols and, you know, knock on wood, we were able to stay open throughout COVID without shutting down at all and service our customers. So definitely a challenge.
That was hard to believe. It was 4 years ago. It feels like an eternity ago, and yet at the same time, it feels very fresh still in terms of what had to happen there. You know, a lot of people think that leaders aren't afraid of things, or things don't scare them. I'm sure that moment had to scare you a little bit with your business, like not knowing. How do you handle those moments of maybe a little fear, a little doubt, a little uncertainty as a leader, especially when people are looking to you?
You know, you have to communicate clearly with the team, let them know what the path forward is, let them know what the plan is. But, you know, I think that internally there's always a little bit of fear as a leader. You know, you always lose sleep. You know, my father always used this adage that, you know, running a company is there's 27 hours in every day, but no one can fire you. You know, it's you never stop worrying. You go to sleep worrying, you wake up worrying, you know, you never stop thinking about the business. It's while you eat dinner, it's while you spend time with your family. It's
very hard to shut it off. Very hard.
And especially because, like I said, a lot of the people here I've known, you know, we have a lot of highly tenured people that have been here since I was a little boy, and their, you know, grandmother, mother, daughter, granddaughter work here, and husbands and wives and brothers and sisters. And so we have a lot of familial relationships that work here, and their entire families are counting on our company to support their families. And so it's just, I feel a huge amount of responsibility to make sure that we are, you know, maintaining the company and moving forward and providing a vehicle for them to support their families.
Yeah, I feel that same burden. Whenever I was an employee, I felt like I was working really hard to feed 4 mouths. Yeah. And now as an entrepreneur, I feel like I work really hard to feed 15, 20 mouths. You know, like the burden just goes up just a little bit more. It's one that we gladly bear because it's an opportunity to provide, you know, great work, great service, opportunities for people. Like one of my greatest joys is providing an opportunity for our team members to excel and to learn new things and to grow and to dream a little bit, to imagine and be creative and all those types of things, because I'm trying to provide what I always wish that somebody had done for me, like, you know, early on in my career, instead of having to spend 10 years figuring it out on my own and not really having any direction. So it is fun to be able to provide that, but it comes with a little extra, you know, stress and challenges. That's for sure. Now, you guys have something special going on. I learned this. I didn't know this, but you have, like, each of your major department heads and your warehouse supervisors have all been with the company for more than 20 years. Is that right?
Yeah. So we believe exactly what you said, is providing people with opportunities to advance and to move on to better things. And so, you know, it was.
But how do you get people to stick around for 20 plus years? I mean, that's a career. I mean, that's a long time.
Again, to go back to my father, who likes to tell corny jokes, he always said that either people like working here or we've ruined them so badly they can't go anyplace else. No, but I mean, he always promoted that, was, you know, let's teach people, you know, new things and new skills and give them an opportunity to advance, and let's promote wherever we can from within. And so all of our major, you know, DC managers all worked here and worked at various stages, whether that was shipping or receiving or inventory, or some of them started just on a labeling line, and now they've worked their way up through the company, and now they're managing a DC. And you know, most of the people here in the company have been here for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like that speaks volumes to a company, is the longevity of their employees, their team, and also the longevity of their customers. You look at those two things, and I think that's the telltale sign of a company's doing the right things.
Yeah, and you know, we also try to keep a good balance of work and family and home. So what we say is, look, get your work done, but if your kid has a you know, recital or a show at school, don't miss that. That's important. That only happens, you know, once. Don't miss it because you're here, you know, working. So try to do what you can, get some coverage, get your work done, but by all means, go to that show and do what you can. I mean, it's important that you make it to those family events.
Those things matter more down the road than they do in the moment. I've learned as a dad, like, even though it's important in the moment and you don't want to miss it, when you look back and go, I'm glad I didn't miss that. You know, that feels so good. I'm sure that they're benefiting that. I think it was Bruce Arians, the coach of the Buccaneers, that told his staff, if they miss one of their kids' games, he's firing them. Right. Like that's a whole nother, level.
A whole nother level. But the idea is sound. I mean, it's, you know, that's what we want too. We want everybody to get out of here and coach their kids Little League and see their games and do all that kind of stuff. you don't want them to go home at the end of the night and ask them how the game went and how they did.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I've had to travel a few times and my kids ride horses, and making a phone call and asking how was horseback riding tonight is one of the worst feelings, as opposed to getting to be there, watching her jump, seeing things progress and talking about it on the ride home. It's a different feel for sure. So I can definitely appreciate that. All right, Tony, we have to have a little fun on the show. We always like to do that. So we're going to play a little game here. It's a trivia game. I think it's just called Trivia. All right, so here's what we got. Our producer's put together some Gen Z slang, which Gen Z, those dates, I'm not even sure the dates of those, but it's definitely after us. We're Gen X. I'm a Gen Xer. You Gen Xer? Okay. We're Gen Xers. So some Gen Z slang, and we have to see if we can guess what this means. This could be embarrassing, my friend. I'm just saying. We're in this together. Here we go. All right, let's see what we got. First one is snatched. I'm thinking like taken, stolen.
That's what I would have said. That's
exactly way too obvious. That seems way too obvious.
That's what I thought too. I thought, okay, there's got to be deeper meaning.
Oh, it means fierce or on point, particularly when it comes to someone's hair, makeup, or physical appearance. Oh, so Tony, your goatee is snatch, dog.
Wow, thank you.
Use that at the dinner table tonight, or when you're with your kids next, and just see how that goes. All right, so we didn't get that one right. Snatch, that was bad. Okay, understood the assignment. I mean, I know what these mean to us. What else?
Yeah, I take them literally. I understood the assignment. I got it.
That's right. I know what's going on. I'm focused. I'm hip. I'm up with it. Okay, I don't know. What does this mean? This means someone was successful at or totally nailed. Okay, then we got that. We got that one. We're taking credit for that one, Tony.
So all right, we're 1 for 2.
All right, here we go. Next one. Glizzy. Glizzy. Okay.
I'm going glizzy is that you're like dressed to the nines.
Like you're looking good.
Yeah, you're looking good. You're glizzy.
I like that. I like that. I mean, I think that makes sense. I can't think of anything else that would be better than that. So glizzy, man, dressed to the nines, looking sharp.
Yep.
Let's go with that. All right, let's see what it's a glizzy. It's a hot dog or sausage.
Hot dog.
I'm never calling a hot dog a glizzy. I don't know where that comes from. That doesn't even sound right.
I agree.
Give me a glizzy. No. Okay. All right. Slaps. I think I know this one because my daughter uses this one. Do you know this one? Slaps.
No.
Okay, that means I think that means it's really good. Like that thing slaps.
Oh, that
slaps. Like
okay. All right.
That's what I think. This next word really slaps. It essentially means to be excellent or amazing. Let's go. That's right.
Nice.
All right. So we're 2 for 4. We're failing, but that's okay. Let him cook. Ooh, I know. I think I know what this one is.
Let him cook. It's like let him go. Let him be
good.
Don't put any limits on him.
Don't get in his way. That's right. Don't stop him. Let him keep doing the great work he's doing.
Right.
Let him do his thing. Got it. All right, we're 3 for 5. We're passing, my friend. Here we go. 3 for 5. Let's see. We got Riz. Oh, my daughter used this recently.
I think Riz is like when you to Riz somebody is to kind of like flirt with them or hit them up.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe I don't want to know that if my daughter used that. Okay, Riz. Let's hear what it is. Riz is another word for spitting game, how good you are with pulling and flirting. Hey, we get it. That counts. 4 for 6. We get credit for that one. All right. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Mother. I have not heard this one. Mother. Okay. Like Mother Earth, Mother Nature, like in charge. Maybe it's like something that like mother is like, no. That's too literal.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, a woman who's iconic. Okay. Hey, listen, I said Mother Nature. In charge. I said in charge.
All right. I'll give it to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. I appreciate that. We're 5 for 7. Okay. Last one. And we're passing already. All right. 5 for 7. Here we go. Let's see if we can get a C out of this deal. It's giving. It's giving.
Giving.
It's giving.
It's giving. Like, all right. I'm into that. I can like something that's passable or excitable or it's giving. It's giving.
It feels good. It's got a good vibe to it. Maybe things are good. It's a slang phrase used to describe when someone or something is embodying a particular vibe. I said vibe. Let's go. 6 for 8. Tony, we're counting it. That's 75%, my friend. We are Gen Z pass certified.
In any sport, you're in the Hall of Fame.
That's right. Absolutely. 75%. That's amazing. We'll take that. And also we like to have a little fun with a random question of the day. We're going to end our fun with this. This could be a serious question. It could be a silly question. It could be a good question. This one could be a dud, Tony. I have no idea. So the random question today is, would you rather be chased through a forest by a zombie or by a lion? This is kind of realistic. You could be chased by a lion and zombies.
Zombie for sure.
You'd rather be chased by a zombie?
Yeah, no doubt.
Why is that?
Well, I'm a Walking Dead fan, and those things are sometimes kind of slow. The lion, I have no chance at.
That's true. That's true. So you know the speed of zombies, and you think that you could outrun the zombie.
Chance. I have a possibility. The lion, I have no chance.
Lion, you have no chance. That's a good point. That's a good point. Now, the zombie might have other skills that we don't know about, but if they're slow, I agree with you. I'd rather take my chances getting away from the zombie than getting away from a lion. Because even if you find a tree, you're still dead. Have you seen a lion climb a tree?
Yes.
Those things are unreal.
Yeah.
There's no chance. Lions.
That was an easy one. I'm going zombie all day long.
That's an easy one. We're definitely doing zombie. I don't know that I could survive a zombie apocalypse. I haven't looked into that, but I think I could maybe get away from one. So I'm with you on that. We're going to go with that. All right, Tony, that's kind of the end of our show here. Let's finish with this. First of all, what's next? What's on tap for Motivational? What are you guys working on? What are you excited about? Anything new coming out?
Yeah, we're just, like I said, we're opening our Memphis facility currently. It will go live actually May 1st, so just in a couple weeks.
Nice.
We'll be opening in Indianapolis by the end of this year. So just continued growth, continuing to bring on new business and service our customers and grow.
So it's expansion time right now, which is exciting. So how can the people out there, customers, maybe people that want to hear about your leadership, how can people get connected with you?
You can go to our website, www.mfals.com. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can reach me at my email, taltman@mfals.com.
You're making it easy for people on the website. See, on my website, it's all the words. We need to change that. Maybe we can do an acronym like that.
www.motivationalfulfillmentandlogisticservices.com would be a little rough. So
we had to go if you try to shorten all the words, full, log, serve, like it doesn't. It's not going to work. It just doesn't work.
The initials. The initials is MFALS. Everyone gets MFALS pretty easily.
Well, Tony, listen, we're going to get you out of here today with a little more red hot chili peppers. We appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you so much. We'll have to have you back on the show. And until that next time, enjoy the hockey and don't get in too many fights out there.
You got it. Thanks, Trey. Appreciate it.
Take care. All right, everybody, come back every Tuesday for another episode of Standing Out with great guests like Tony on the show. Also, if you get a chance to listen to us on the radio, Reads Across America Radio, every Tuesday night, we're on their trucking platform there. Their trucking, whatever it's called, their list. I don't know. Gosh, I can't think of words today. But make sure you check them out at readsacrossamerica.org and donate to their cause because it's coming up here in December to lay the wreaths on headstones of fallen veterans. And so it's a great organization. We love partnering with them. I love what they're doing. Also, shout out to our friends over at SPI Logistics for sponsoring the show and making it possible. Check them out at success.spi3pl.com. And until next time, don't forget, stop standing still, start standing out. We'll see you guys soon.